think from a governance point of view, the primary work of the board is threefold. The board is accountable and responsible to determine the inputs into an organisation. So what is the organisation going to use? Money, people, resources, and once that has been established and set in place, the second area of responsibility or work of the board is to provide oversight. So is the organisation doing what the organisation is meant to do based on the inputs? And then the third circle or area of work of the board would be that of looking back, auditing, reviewing. Too often we're too good at the looking back, the auditing element, and we don't do enough of the first one, which is determining inputs. And so in looking at the determining inputs, one would need to look at those three dimensions or three phases of the organisation. What governance inputs is one going to be put in place? What structure? Is it robust? Is it adaptable? Does it actually take into account the work the organisation does? So that when one looks at oversight, one can monitor and report on an ongoing basis. And that's the challenge of organisations, is real-time, up-to-date information on what's really going on. We can't wait until the end of a period to just look back in terms of the report. We have to be monitoring and overseeing things on an ongoing basis. And so when we look at our strategic inputs, that helps us identify not just where we want to be, but what do we need to measure on an ongoing basis to see whether we're moving in the right direction. When we drive from one city to another city, we don't just wait until we get to that other city to see if we're going the right road. We actually look at the road signs, we follow our GPS. Those are different tools we use to see whether we are moving in the right direction. And then the third element is the stakeholders. When we're looking at inputs, if we've properly identified the areas of impact that our organisation has, we can start putting faces and names to that empty face of the stakeholder, to the voice we need to hear. And if we've identified it enough up front and well enough up front, then again we can start monitoring that on an ongoing basis. So we don't wait until we have impacted. We don't wait until there is a strike or there is a breakdown or our employees or suppliers no longer want to supply us with their services or goods anymore. We engage up front because we have a view of inputs and not just audits and reviews at the end of the period.